Perfect. So we're able to log in the users. Next, we want to take the users to the next screen once they have logged in. That just makes sense, right? So I'm going to go ahead and sign up. So we're going to copy all of this information here. It's going to be pretty much the same. I'm going to say here, private void show add item screen, like this. Okay, to add item screen, and we're gonna go to add item. Let's change this here, and we have everything there. We should be able to call this and go to add item. Okay, so this will be here. Just paste it in there. If we save this, let's go ahead and give it a run. Let's log in here as JBond, I think that's the name. Go log in, and we have issues. What may those be? Let's see what's going on. It says root hasn't been set. All right, so we're having to fix this problem here. We have to open again our add item in Scene Builder, and you notice if you go to controller down here, cancel that. If we go to controller here, we need to change this to use fix root construct. We don't want that. Okay, I'm gonna uncheck that and save, and we can get out of this. Now we're gonna go and recompile add item fx. If we go ahead and run, we should not have problems anymore. So I'm gonna go and say JBond, for instance, give a password, a correct one, and we should go to our next page or next screen here. Okay, that was a very important one. So every time you are creating your user interfaces using Scene Builder, make sure that you uncheck that, what we just unchecked. Otherwise, you'll run into issues. So here we go. We are now able to see the no tasks for today yet. So now we're going to go ahead and make sure that when we click on this button here, which is an image, we're going to make it a button that we will be able to then be taken to a new screen where we can add items. Okay, all right, so let's do that. So go to controller, add item controller here. Now I made a mistake here. Let's go ahead, and perhaps it's probably the best for us to refactor, because that's going to be very annoying. Say controller as such, it's a refactor. Okay, let's see if that all did refactor. Let's go to add item here and see. Yep, it refactored everything. That's good. Okay, let's get rid of sign up. We don't need that for now. In fact, in main here, let's change while we're here. This is not hello world anymore. This is to do. All right, let's get out of here. Okay, let's open our add item in Scene Builder. There it is. Let's give an ID for all of these. Let's go to controller down here. Make sure again this is not checked. Okay, it has to be unchecked for things to work. All right, let's go under code. I'm going to give an ID. This is, oh, we already have ID. Add button. Well, there it is. Add button. That's good. So we didn't have to come here. Well, actually, we can go to, let's go to view, say show sample skeleton. I'm going to say full, so we have the full spectrum. I'm going to copy all of this. Come down here. Always does this. Start again. Right click, copy, and there we go. We want JavaFX. Okay, there we go. Let's import everything. That's fine. That's fine. All right. And we don't need this. Okay. Okay, so we're going to say add button, because this button is actually an image view. So we're going to lose a few properties that we gain when we use buttons. Okay, nevertheless, this is fine. We can still attach an event listener. So if you say add, there we go, say event handler. Okay, now the thing here, we have to pass the type of the event that we need to pass. In this case, we're going to use the mouse event. Make sure we use the JavaFX scene input event, say that, and then we need to specify what kind of event we want. The mouse clicked, right? So when the mouse is clicked, that's when we want this to happen. Then we're going to pass the actual event handler here. We're going to use the event, and this is going to be another abstraction using Lambda. Okay, so here we can go ahead and say sout added clicked. Okay, save this and run. So it's going to take the process again. JBond, say password, enter, and there we go. So click here. Notice now the added clicked is working. Now, because we know we lost a lot of action, a lot of things by using just an image view, right? So as you can see now, this doesn't really give us that feedback, which is that little animation. We can just use the animation we used earlier. Okay, we can just use the shaker animation for now, just to signify that this has been clicked indeed. So what we're going to do here, inside of our Lambda, we can go ahead and say shake, or shaker, that's what we called. Button shaker, new shaker. We have to pass the add button node like this, and I'm going to say button shaker dot shake. Okay, so this is going to allow for that animation to work, so that at least user will know, they will know that the button has been clicked. So I'm going to say JBond again, shown 7, and look at this, right? Button clicked like that. We may change that animation at some point, but for now this works. So the next thing we need to do is when they click on add this button here, we want to open up a screen, another window that will allow them to add items, to add their tasks. So if we run this, and I say JBond and pass in the password, we've seen this 100 times, and we get to the task here, and I click on the task and the button is working. Now, we could have done a few things here. We could have gone away and created a new add item screen, and where we would have the form, right, the text fields, or the text views or text fields, where users can add the task and description and so forth, right? And that's totally fine. But what are we going to do? We are going to reuse the same window, the same screen here, and we are going to get rid of all of these items here, the no task label and the button, and populate with new fxml file. So we're going to create a new fxml file, and then in code, when they click add, we're going to move this button away and move this label, and then repopulate this same screen here. It's a new concept, but you will see that it's not that hard. It's pretty much the same what we've been doing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new view here. It's going to be fxml file. I'm going to call this add item form as such. I'm going to create a controller here, C Java. I'm going to call this add item form controller. Well, controller as such, and okay, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and open this add item form in Scene Builder. Okay, and this is where we are going to add all the information here. So I have our anchor pane here, so I'm going to go ahead and start putting things together. The first thing I need is a text field. Okay, I'm going to use this one here. Put right there. Going to be pretty big, and I'm going to say task. Like such, okay? And then I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to say this is going to be description, like this. Okay, let's go ahead and find a button. JF button, of course. Save task. There we go. I'll change the background here because with this one we're gonna be a little bit, there we go. Let's change the text color because that's not gonna work for obvious reasons. There we go. Very good. Let's make it bigger. All right, so there we go. I'm going to go ahead and give IDs. Make sure you put it around here. This is going to be save task button. If you go to down here, you can see the controller. Make sure this is not checked. Okay, so let's see the task here. I'm going to say text field, and this is going to be description field, like that. Okay, very nice. Go ahead and save this. It should be saved now inside of our IDE. So for now, what do we need to do? Like I said, we are going to inflate or get this fxml and put inside of our window that we already have. So to do that, I'm going to go back and open our IDE Item Controller here. So the first thing, just to see how things work, I'm going to go ahead and use the add button and move it out. In fact, before I even do that, let's go ahead and open the add item in Scene Builder as well. What do we need to do here? Because I'm going to attach a few animations to get rid of things, because we want to get rid of all of this so that we can populate the add form, right? Let's give an ID to this as well, to this label, because I don't think we did before. So I'm going to right click here. This is going to be no task label. Let's see if that was added. No task label was added. I'm going to save. I'm going to go to view skeleton. There it is, no task label. Let me copy this. Go back here. I'm going to add an import JavaFX. Let's see if this works. No task. There we go. Okay, it's all connected. Perfect. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add a little animations to see if we can move those two items away from the main view. So I'm going to say add button. This all happens when we click on the add button, right? Add button. I'm going to invoke the relocate method there. So you give it X. So I want to relocate to the 0. x0, so top to the left, far left, and y is going to be about 20. This was the whole screen. It would be about here, right? Because this would be 0, and y is going to be about here, 20. And we can do the same thing. Let's go and say not label, not task label. We're going to go ahead and say relocate to about the same area, but I'm going to go 45 just to see. This is going to be a little test, okay? Let's go ahead and run. J bond, keep it there. There it is. Okay, moment of truth now. Let's click and look at that. It all went to the left. Very cool. Very cool. And next, what we can do, because we want to kind of get rid of it, what we can do, we can go ahead and say add button dot opacity or set opacity. I'm going to set opacity to 0, so that way you cannot see it. I'm going to copy this, and this is going to be for not label, set opacity to 0 as well. Let's save and give it another run. Okay, JBond. There we go. And went. But that just wasn't very satisfying, because what happened was that it just disappeared. So what we need to do is to figure out a way in which we can have that very nice transition to the left. Okay, let's try that. For that to work, we're going to use the fade transition class. Okay, I'm going to create it here at the top. Say fade transition is equal fade transition. I'm going to call new fade transition. And here we're going to pass the duration in milliseconds. I'm going to give it about 8 milliseconds, and we have to pass whatever we're trying to transition to. Let's do the add button like this. Let's clear this, and let's see if this is going to work. And then what we're going to do at the top bottom here, we're going to say fade transition that set from, okay, I'm going to set from 1.0, 1f like such, and then fade transition dot set to value. Oops, set to value like this. We're gonna set it to what, 0f. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Fade transition dot set cycle count. We just wanted this to happen in about 4 milliseconds. And fade transition dot set auto reverse, we're going to say false. So we don't want it to reverse, we just want it to stay there. Okay, and I'm going to say fade transition dot play. Right, so this will just be applied for, obviously, for our button here. Okay, let's go ahead and save and give it a run. JBond, and let's run. There we go. Let's try now. It was too fast. Let's give it, make it about 3 seconds or 2 seconds. So 2000 milliseconds, that's 2 seconds. Let's stop and run. Okay. Let's try. Look at that. Very nice. So what are we going to do here? Let's change the cycle. Instead of 4, we're going to say 2. So just going to go ahead and say once. In fact, let's just do, 2 is fine. Let's save and give it a run. All right. Look at that. Boom. Once, twice, and it's gone. Very, very nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with our label. All right, so what we're going to do, let's create another one here. I'm going to say fade transition. This time I'm going to call this label transition. It's equal to new fade transition. Passing duration of about the same time, 200 2000 milliseconds, which is equivalent to 2 seconds. And I'm going to pass our label, not to ask, no task label, that is. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and copy this. That's set. From value. Okay, from 1. Set to value. We want to get to 0 because we want to make sure that you can't see anything. Once it's done, cycle, we're going to do 2 as well. Fade transition, that's set auto. False, because we don't want it to keep going. Okay. Oh, this has to be label transition. Label transition. Okay. Dot play. All right, so now if you stop this and run, say J bond, and go as follow, and look at this. And all fades out twice. Okay, so at least we know it works. Now we're gonna get rid of the 2 time because that's a little bit overkill. We just put 1, and just to make it better, I'm gonna just put this maybe 145. Save so that it's separated once it gets there. Yes, I know it's a lot of things, but I want this to be really good so you can show off once you build this. Okay. All right, let's try again. And there we go, it's gone. Oh, maybe this was too much. Let's say 85. Okay. Try. There we go. It's gone. And once that happens, we are going, the next video, when that transition happens, we are going to populate here this new add item form here. Okay? Perfect. I'll see you in the next video.